Welcome to our countdown of the top 50 World Cup goals. There have, of course, been hundreds and hundreds of brilliant strikes since it all began, so whittling it down to 50 has been a pretty tricky business. But we've done it, so sit back and enjoy, starting with this sublime strike from Senegal.
It was a wonderful goal. There'd be great pride in that goal. Great break, speedy movement, good play and selfish play off the ball by players who weren't involved in the move.
And a wonderful opportunity, and that is a magnificent goal by Diao.
I think if you were a coach that day, you'd be really, really proud.
It's almost choreographed. It's almost like they've been out there for the last 3 days working on this, and everybody knows their moves, and this is what they're going to do, and the opposition are going to play ball. Diao bursts a blood vessel to get there, and it's a fantastic goal. I mean, if they're 49 better than that, this is going to be some show.
The way he strikes that free kick, the way it goes over the wall, now we're used to seeing it. We're used to seeing it with the technology, the lightweight footballs, the fantastic, lightweight boots as well. But with those heavy footballs like they had in '66, to be able to do that was something that, Europeans hadn't seen. It was magical.
This was a particularly good goal. Puyol breaking it up, playing cleverly with Torres.
How much Puyol still wanted the ball and teed it up for Torres. That's a magnificent goal.
This was a very good Spanish goal. They played some very fine football this day, and everyone was talking about they could go all the way.
To rescue. And it's down the left that they concentrate this attack. Oh! What a stunning blow that one is!
The camera picks him up, and it looks like he's actually meaning to cross, and I have to say, I think that gives it away. I'm not sure he meant it.
Was it a fluke? I don't think it was. Give him the total credit.
He's a great player, and he probably thinks he deserves the benefit of the doubt. The fantastic thing about the Borghetti goal is that I just can't remember seeing a header like that in any game.
Blanco looking for Borghetti. Oh, he got a good touch, and he scored a very good goal.
Did he quite know where the goalkeeper was? Who knows? It's Buffon. He's beaten him. Superb finish.
Roger Milla. Where did he come back from? I think they said he was about 38, although there was some talk that he was 50-odd in the end.
We were talking about Miller, good turn. Miller inside the penalty area. Higuita off the line. Roger Miller's done it.
There's one thing that you can say, there's no substitute for experience, because get this guy around the box, get the ball in the right position, and time again, he will stick it in the back of the net. This guy was a finisher.
Everything about him was immaculate. His touch on the ball was exemplary. His vision was fantastic. And his ability, to keep his head in a situation like that. He had the goal at his will. He could make the ball sing, dance, whatever. There was nothing hurried about him. It was like he was playing in slow motion. A classic goal from one of the players that you would have to put in the top 5 of all time.
You know the football phrase, he's got eyes in the back of his head. Somebody check Pelé next time they see him, because our boyhood heroes, and 1970 was a wonderful time to be a boy with that team to watch.
Geoff Hurst was always quite self-deprecating about that goal. He said all he wanted to do was hit it as hard as he could, as far as he could, and if it went into the crowd and run the clock down, well, then he was quite happy. But listen, there was much more to it than that. This was a man who sort of dragged the German defence all over the pitch, and suddenly he switched up and he's just lashed it. And it's almost like, an outpouring of emotion. But it was one of those great moments, I'm sure every Englishman who was at Wembley that day, every Englishman who was watching the game at home on television will be able to say, well, I know exactly where I was, exactly what I was doing when Jeff Hurst scored that fourth goal.
I think the Amakochi goal in '94 was just around that time when there was an explosion of African footballers, and especially the Nigerians were producing a real crop of talented players. And I think, you know, without stereotyping, they had pace, they had power, but they had skill and they had good understanding of the game.
Amokachi ploughing through. And that will go down as one of the best of the competition.
Well, hopefully that's got you in the mood. After the break, we've got 20 more absolute belters for you, including a German legend, an Italian World Cup winner, and one of England's finest. Welcome back. We are counting down the top 50 World Cup goals, and here come numbers 40 to 21. At 40, one of the highlights of France '98.
This is Najenka. And he's being invited to go a long way here. Still Najenka. He's gone right through and scores! Oh, what a goal! The Austrian defence in total disarray. But he still had to show great composure in front of goal.
The thing that you remember as much as anything is the ball forward to Didier Cisse. You know, suddenly the ball stabbed forward, and when you're watching it on television, you think, well, that's fairly aimless.
Flattening. And Cisse is clear and onside and strikes a superb shot.
And he's taken the ball on his chest, and you think, great, wonderful control. Take another touch, slot it past the goalkeeper. No, not even a thought of taking another touch. It was an instant volley, perfectly executed. That was a goal that any Brazilian would have been proud to have on his highlight tape.
I think he was one of those players, Lechkov, that I hadn't really heard of before the World Cup, but he made a big impression.
And a goal! Lechkov!
Remember, he had like the slightly balding head with the little piece at the front, the little island on, but he was a great header of the ball. You saw his timing, he was great, had a big part in Bulgaria's success. I watched the Beckenbauer goal a couple of times, and you just saw like an effortless class about the man.
Great players make time for themselves. And when
I was watching him and I thought to myself, I don't think I've ever seen him with dirty shorts. He's one of those players who, did he ever tackle? Did he ever get dirty? A little bit like Bobby Moore. You know, there's some players who the game is almost too easy for. Kaiser Beckenbauer was certainly one of those.
Maradona scores a team goal, whatever next. They were popping it about nicely, they were. The opening doors all over the place. But there was still a pass on, actually, when it came back to Maradona, but he thought, no, my turn now. My return to the team needs marking with something special. Stand aside, everybody. Watch this.
Maradona! Oh! Maradona scores! And he has marked his return to international football with a stunning strike.
We thought it showed a man back at his best, but his celebrations told us another story, and obviously subsequent events prove that, that shot was fueled by more than just his left foot.
Germany were at home, it was their tournament, you know, they were one of the favourites, although it was a young team to do well, and it's such a difficult skill to hit a ball coming across your body at the pace that it was hit.
Torsten Frings has hit it! Fabulous!
so many players were looking to shoot on sight, it was almost as the coaches had been saying to the players, when you get near goal, have a pop.
He'll never hit a sweet one. He might never hit a ball like that again. It absolutely flew in. And I think at the time started to raise the expectations of the Germans that it could be their year.
And still goal, lovely touch of finish.
I was slightly surprised in the Bajcevic goal because it showed an unexpected flair and skill that I wasn't sort of looking for, and he turns inside left foot and right foot inside two defenders, and I think kills the ball with the inside of his left foot into the top corner.
What a good goal! What a marvellous goal from Wiesbeck! We won't see a better goal than that in this World Cup.
I don't really think we thought Russian players did those type of things, but yeah, it's a wonderful goal.
There haven't been many players in the history of the game who can run with the ball faster than the defenders running without the ball. And it helps, of course, when you get them running backwards, and it helps when you've got that kind of balance and manoeuvrability that Maradona had.
Here's Maradona now. Is this number 2? Oh, brilliant.
His speed across the ground with the ball tied to his foot is what made him so special and what made that World Cup his World Cup.
Mr. Germany, he was a captain, he drove them on for midfield. He was the epitome of your modern midfield player, really. Efficient, got forward, didn't, not too fussy, but scored important goals when it was needed, when his team needed him. He came up with big goals, and this was another big goal in a big World Cup game.
Matthäus with some space, supporting play, Voller and Klinsmann. Matthäus can go again. Oh, great goal! Lothar Matthäus with what must be the goal of the competition so far.
Names are not fictitious. Vasily Rats of Dynamo Kiev scored against Joel Bats of Paris Saint-Germain.
Keeping possession, comfortably enough. Given away then by Lenikov. Benanov. Shot from Rats. Magnificent goal by Rats.
So here's the quiz question. Name another instance in the history of the World Cup when the goal scorer and the goalkeeper's names rhymed. I don't know.
I think when you look at the goal scored by Zico, it sums up a little bit about Brazilian football. Why head it or, volley it in easily when you can do a bicycle kick?
And the technique, well, just unrivaled, unquestioned technique.
Now Cerezo, Leandro, 2 men only in the box at the moment. Oh, that is a great goal! What a magnificent goal by Zico!
An overhead kick like that in a pressure game, magnificent. To me, one of my heroes.
He's almost preparing for the bicycle kick as the ball's coming in from the cross. And that's the thing of somebody of that technical ability. They prepare themselves better and earlier than the normal player would.
That 1982 team was absolutely magnificent, and probably the most crazily exhibitionist goal you'll see.
And now Serginho on the burst. Chance here for Eder to make it 3. Oh, what an intelligent flip. Oh, that was pure genius.
He could have done anything with it, but in the end he thought, well, OK, I'll just show you what else I can do. I've got a little chip, a chip that humiliates goalkeepers, because there is nothing worse than standing there and watching a ball go over your head and there's absolutely nothing you could do. And there it was, in the back of the net, a goalkeeper flat-footed. Everything about that goal was beautiful. It was carved out of nothing. Peter Beardsley's pass.
Beardsley.
Flicked it first time to Hodge.
Superbly done.
Steve Hodges' run, his first time delivery.
Lineker is in the middle.
And then suddenly there's Lineker sneaking in, those ridiculously tight shorts.
Lineker!
Just drifting that ball into the top of the net.
Brilliant!
Fantastic goal.
Beardsley. Superbly done for Hodge. Lineker is in the middle. Lineker! Brilliant!
We've seen and we will see some wonderful moments of finesse from the great players of World Cup history, the Tostaus and the Bergkamps and so on. But I tell you, that pass from Peter Beardsley, that belongs in that class. It's a wonderful reverse pass, cutting pass. Just invites Steve Hodge to cross the ball for Gary Lineker to score a great goal. But Peter Beardsley was the brains of the operation.
Talk about vision, talk about awareness. You talk about sort of, great players seeing pictures and painting pictures in their mind that ordinary mortals can't see. Well, that ball was the absolute epitome of that.
Oh, that's a lovely ball through. Danger here from Stoichkov, who'll get inside the Mexican penalty area. It's a wonderful strike. Terrific goal for Bulgaria from Christos Stoichkov.
I don't ever remember him being that quick. Maybe I'm doing him a disservice. I think the one thing I do know is when he got there with that left foot, he's going to hammer it past the goalkeeper, and as usual, it ends up in the